everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am finally drawing another dragon. Now if you're not aware, I absolutely love drawing dragons, and I sort of have this little bit of a goal here where I am trying to sort of expand my horizons with my sort of creature design artworks. So lately I have been designing a few different types of dragons. Now you probably know this most notably from my dragons inspired by tea varieties series, but I've also done a few other different kinds of dragon artworks as well, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that because I'm not always going to be drawing tea dragons specifically. I feel like I have done quite a lot of them, and I kind of want to do more kinds of dragons. I'm definitely not sort of abandoning my tea variety series, but you're probably going to see a lot of sort of different other dragons as well in videos instead of just the whole tea variety series, because I feel like I want to sort of do different things. And so today we are doing a gemstone dragon. Now, I'm not exactly sure the difference between crystals and gemstones. Maybe there's like different categories, but to me in this drawing, I'm gonna call them like one and the same, I guess. I probably will get a few people sort of correcting me because I don't know. Well, let's just say I'm not a geologist or anything. But anyways, so yeah, a gemstone or crystal dragon. Now, when I first thought of this, I wanted to sort of do like a scary sort of spooky dragon in a cave. Maybe it was like protecting treasure, or you know, just guarding a specific place. So that's why I kind of wanted to have it in a little bit more of an aggressive pose, sort of arching its back a little bit with its tail sort of curved around, and it's sort of like side-eyeing the viewer, and it looks a little bit cranky. It looks a little bit aggressive, but I'm doing this on purpose because I wanted to try and push like emotions in my art. Sometimes I don't always want to draw just like a happy dragon or like a cool dragon in a specific pose. I kind of want to convey like an emotion in its face and its body language. Most importantly, I feel like that's a little bit of a goal that I've been trying to do lately, and I really should sort of push myself into it. So anyways, for the method of drawing today, I wanted to again do my digital line art. I just absolutely love it. I'm sorry if you're getting bored with the digital line art. I just love it. It's very, very convenient for me. So I can like draw anywhere. I don't have to sort of sit in my studio to sort of plan out and do the line art and the sketch. I can sit in bed and draw, or I can, you know, go to my partner's place and watch him play Pokemon all day while also drawing. And that's been really convenient for me. So yeah, get used to that. That doesn't mean I'm gonna, you know, skip traditional line art. I still am going to do that, but I'm for the moment just loving the digital. But anyways, so I'm using my iPad Pro with Procreate, and I used a few different brushes in this. I used the technical pen brush, which is my go-to sort of brush for digital art, but I also used the studio brush, mainly because in like some sort of larger sizes, the technical pen brush can look a little bit softer than I prefer. So when I do like a thicker line, I'm trying out the studio pen brush because it's a bit of a thicker pen, so you don't have to make the size as big, yet it still has that really nice crisp look and feel, which I really, really love. So for the specific sort of I'll say design of this dragon, I wanted to do just a whole bunch of crystals all over this dragon's body, as if like its whole body is made up of like these like crystals and gems and stuff. And I decided to do like that sort of like lumpy, I don't know what it's called, but it's like a crystal, and it's got this sort of lumpy like sort of rough texture, and then there's all these like gems and crystals sticking out of it. I really like that idea because it sort of gives me a bit of a like I feel like sharp spines coming out of a dragon's back, but I sort of emphasized this like way overboard, and I just did like spikes all over this dragon. Now I did some like other smaller sort of gems all over its body too, as you can sort of see, and that's just to sort of symbolize the scales on a dragon. I didn't draw every single scale because that would just take way too long. But I really like the idea of like some of these scales sort of spread out around the dragon's body. And yeah, I really love the sort of rough texture because I really like to sometimes do like really smooth and sleek lines with my dragons. But this time I sort of went in the opposite direction to test things about, and yeah, I did like a really sort of bumpy, rough, sort of jagged outline for the dragon's sort of shape. And I did some like lines that weren't connected, and I did this on purpose because I really felt like it sort of emphasized that rough aesthetic. And I also added a few cracks here and there because I feel like this dragon probably would have a few cracks in its body due to either just fighting or, you know, just moving around because it's sort of made out of like really hard gems and stuff like that. And for the wings, I decided not to do wings, and instead I did like these 4 really big sort of crystals like coming out of its back, and I did them roughly in the shape of wings just to sort of still get that dragony aesthetic, because I feel like this dragon would be living in caves mostly underground. So I don't know if it really would need wings, but I really wanted to still have that look of a dragon. So now we are on to the colouring phase, which is my favourite phase when drawing. I absolutely love using my Copic markers to colour in an artwork and watch it sort of come to life, because with the line art you can definitely see what it is, but it doesn't have that sort of you know, like fullness to it and life to it that the colour brings. So I started off and I just used some really light colours. This time I'm actually colouring in the dragon first, and this is mainly because I wanted to sort of draw from light to dark in a way, because I felt like I really didn't want to smudge like a dark colour into a light area, so I decided to go and colour in all of the light areas first. And this was basically the body of the dragon is the lightest part. It's mainly white because I wanted to keep that sort of like light crystally sort of sheen to it. So I did a few different colors in the dragon's actual body. I did a really light blue, light pink, light yellow, a little bit of orange here and there, but I kept it to sort of really light pale sort of pastel colors, just so that I could have this dragon look almost like it's iridescent and shiny. After this, I went into all of the gemstones and I colored in different areas. Now, as you can see, some parts of the gemstones are sort of transparent. I was trying to give it a look like you could sort of see through it, but there was sort of different colors reflecting on those gemstones. So yeah, I really like the way I colored in some of those. I kind of like the weird sort of highlights and shadows and like stripes of different colors in all of the gems. I feel like they're really colorful, which is something I really want in my art, because you know me, I love to just cram all the colors in that I can possibly get, and colors to make them all bright and colorful. But there's a few gems here which I placed on purpose, which were the ones that are sort of symbolizing wings, as well as the ones on the side of the dragon's head and the claws. And I decided to do the ones on the side of the dragon's head because a lot of the time when I will draw a dragon, I will sort of draw them symmetrically. Like if I have, like, say, horns on one side of the dragon's head, I want to do it on the other side of the dragon's head to sort of give that sort of symmetrical look, which I really like. But this time I wanted to sort of experiment a little bit. So this dragon has like these sort of long-ish sort of gems on one side of the head near where the ear would be, but on the other side of the head there's none, and I actually really like that. I think it looks really cool and interesting, and yeah, it's kind of like sort of a little bit of a technique that I've tried to sort of, I don't know, just experiment and see what happens, and I ended up liking the results of that. So now for the background and the sort of border elements of this, I really wanted to have a sort of border around the dragon, but I didn't want to have it too crazily detailed because this dragon's very detailed and colorful. But I still wanted something that would complement it really nice and sort of draw the eye into the focal point, which is the dragon. So I actually decided to do a little bit of a border around the outside, which has a purple color. Now I'm sort of just I'm trying to like make this like it's sort of a gem sort of sort of border, if that makes sense. I don't know if gems would actually, you know, be that big and that close, but it's almost like there's gems sort of surrounding the dragon, and lots of different sort of crystals pointing inwards, mostly pointing towards the dragon, but also pointing in different directions because I wanted it to be sort of random in that way. But I really like the way all of them have like different colors, and I tried to sort of space the colors out a lot as well so that no two gems were too alike close to each other. Now, after I got all of that done, I decided to go in with the background, and I did a pure black. Now, this is mainly because I really wanted those sort of bright colors and highlights to shine the most, so I decided to go with black because it would let those colors and those highlights shine and get a real nice amount of contrast. Now, the paper I'm actually using today is my Strathmore mixed media Bristol paper. It's a very sort of smooth paper, and I really like this paper for Copic markers, but I decided to use that instead of Express-It blending card, mainly because I'm out of Express-It, but also because I like how the colors sort of go down on this really smoothly, and you can get some really sort of smooth colors, and it looks pretty good. Now, with this paper, when you put down black, it's not as dark as like pure black. It's kind of like a really dark gray, but almost black, if that makes sense. The way, I guess it's the way the card sort of absorbs the ink instead of having it sit on the top, so it won't be pure black, but it's pretty close. But this is a good thing because when I print the line art onto this, the line art is actually a little bit darker than the black marker, which is a good thing because you can sort of still see the line art even though I colored around it in black, so that was a really good thing. So yeah, I'm really happy with this sort of like creature design, I guess you would call it. It was really fun, and I love the results, and I love how at the end I added the gel pen over the top, and I just sort of added so many highlights and shines all over these gemstones, and that's sort of where they sort of come to life the most, because, well, gemstones are supposed to be shiny and they're supposed to, like, you know, almost glow, but not really. And yeah, I'm really happy with the results of this, and I had so much fun drawing. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed drawing it. So anyways, here is the final results, and I really love the way it turned out. I love the highlights and the contrast and all of the colors. It's very colorful, but it's not too full on, which I think I'm gonna count as a win. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please smash like and subscribe to get your scribble fix in the future. My name is Sarah, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.